When you live in a small town, everyone knows where you've been and what you have done. I've been trying to leave this old town since I...
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zeta.
And I'm Kelly, and you're listening to
Two Sides and the Truth.
Okay, so it is time to catch up once again. I always question myself when I listen to the podcast, and I think, do people really care about
what we've done in the last week?
what we've done in the last week? But 90% of the messages I get from people are about what we've done in the last week.
Yeah, I think that it's a good little, keeps it personal.
Maybe it's, yeah. So, I mean, if y'all keep sending messages like that, that's what I'm going to do. So here we are.
Then, of course, since we have the segments, if they don't want to listen to the catching up, they can just skip forward to the topic.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
You can always just
Skip right through it. Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
Well, because sometimes I think we have first-time listeners, and they're like, what the fuck? What are these bitches? And
How random.
I know, because I listen to podcasts. And now I hate to say this, I'm not overly a podcast listener. I have a specific genre. I want to hear about people that died.
Oh.
I like mysteries.
Yeah, I do too.
And if they're doing makeup at the same time, it's even better. It's pretty specific, you know. And cats, anything with cats. Anything. Okay, so we can talk about my weekend first or your weekend first?
Well, my weekend, so the biggest thing for me...
I'm like, just a weekend. It's been a week.
It has been a whole week. I went and got my February tattoo because I'm doing a tattoo for every month this year. So my January tattoo was my eagle on my hand that I got. And my February tattoo, I got a double-ended candle. So a candle that is burning on both ends.
I saw you post that and I was like, love it.
I love it too. So I went to, Ink Masters is where I go in Waxahachie. And I've been tattooed by most of the people there at that shop. And they are sister shops with Tattoo Guru in Waxahachie, and they are combining. And so I got mine done by Patience. Patience also did my two little moths that I have. I have a moth on each, they're like sister moths on each arm. And she is a fairly new artist. I think she said that she's been tattooing for like 3 years.
She did my foot too. Wasn't that Patience that did my jambalaya
her
tattoo?
Jambalaya. I love me some Patience. I told her that she is my new favorite because she does really good work. I mean,
Yeah,
it
she
just
does.
really, everything that I've seen
And
of hers.
we just talked the whole time and it wasn't annoying. Sometimes when you talk to someone, you're like, oh my God. And I'm someone I think sometimes people think that about.
Yeah.
I know they do.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
sure.
You're a fucking problem. Move away. I don't know.
But she's really nice, and I really, really like being tattooed by her. And this was also the tattoo that I went with my cousin McKenna to get her very first tattoo. So originally we were going to get, she came up with the idea that she wanted to get her, the first letter of her name, which is an M, in Morse code. And
we talked about that on our ear, right?
Yeah, on our ear. But the thing is, once I talked, and I'm glad that I did this because I talked to Patience about it, and she let me know that ear tattoos, first of all, they're really hard to do. You have to get a really, a seasoned artist that really knows what they're doing because the ear is
Probably
kind
don't
of
hold the ink either.
Yeah, she said it just depending on what it is, it's really easy for it to bleed together, like the ink not to stay where, and so it can turn into over time. You really can't even tell what it is. And so she's like, if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but I just want you to know that. And I was like, well, that's great.
That's great advice.
I know. And so I told McKenna, so she got it behind her ear. So I was like, how about you just do it right behind your ear? And I really liked, but the thing is, I don't have that space. My tattoos on my neck go up behind both of my ears. So I told McKenna, I was like, I won't be able to get matching tattoos with you then because that space is already taken up. So she's like, that's okay. As long as you are there and get something too, that's the biggest thing. So I went ahead and got my February tattoo, and then she got her little tattoo. And
she can think of that also as y'all being twin flames.
Right. So,
it can mean more
she
than
got
one
hers,
thing.
and I went first, and of course, because she wanted to watch me get mine. So, and Patience was awesome. She sat there and talked to her about everything that she was doing, and and as she did it, step by step on me. And then when it was her time, she talked her through every little step of it and why she does it, and She did a really great job. And McKenna, she was so nervous. But then as soon as she started going, she's like, oh, this is nothing. I was like, I told you, like, it's so much worse in your head until you actually feel what it actually feels like. And then you're like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. And especially on what she got, it was just like 2 lines, tiny, basically. Yeah. So when it's a bigger tattoo and you're having to do shading and coloring, then it gets more painful because the area gets more sensitive. But when it's something very small like that, it's really
Why do I feel like the back of the neck is not painful? What do I know? I don't know. It's like I'm just making shit up. It might hurt. It might be the worst spot ever. But to me, it feels like it won't be that bad.
I've been told that the feet's the worst. Like the top of the foot is the worst.
It hurt. I'll give you that.
And I have to say, my hand, it hurt because it's just a sensitive area. And especially he came down a little bit on my knuckle.
I would think on my hand I'd be jerking.
Yeah, it was. It still wasn't horrible, but it was up there. It's up there in the top 5 most uncomfortable tattoo spots for me. Which I don't have my toes. Well, I don't have my toes. I don't have my feet tattooed, so I don't know what that goes on the pain scale.
Well, let me know when it happens, so I'll know how bad mine is. I don't have enough experience. I only have 4 tattoos, and one was on my finger, which didn't feel hot.
We need to go get tattoos again.
It is time again.
You know, what are you doing tomorrow?
I'm working.
Are you busy?
I have to go to work. Possibly. Yes. Oh, yeah. I do have a birthday thing.
Oh, but
not my birthday, obviously. Okay. I just celebrated.
We're gonna put it in the books, though. We need another tattoo. Yeah.
Sure. We just need to update this one again. Yeah. Blanche's Anch.
I know. Hey, my Lauren has held really good. The only thing that I need to go back over is the L. The L and maybe the A a little bit, but everything else, Lauren. I'm still Lauren. I mean, you can still read it. Yeah. I'm happy about that.
Oh yeah, it's better than it was.
Yeah. Because I just had Ren last time. So.
Yeah. Well, so what else have you been doing? What was your weekend? Did you Valentine's? We can discuss that now, or do you want to wait till?
Well, we can go. Well, so that happened. Friday was when we went and got our tattoos. My weekend was pretty low key because I didn't have anything that I was supposed to do. So I was just
love that.
I know it's the best. And then of course
I kind of had a weekend like that.
Yeah, the Super Bowl was Sunday, and we didn't do anything for that either because Dante just wanted to watch it. So
I forgot about it.
I had fun just watching it, and then this week at work kind of had a little interesting thing happen because first of all, we're understaffed at the Boys and Girls Club. We've been trying to hire people, they've even done a couple of interviews, but high up won't they won't be like, okay, go ahead and hire that person. They won't give money. They won't give us the go, which now we understand why. Before they were didn't understand why nothing was going through, but then they had a lot of layoffs, so we figured, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But we're still understaffed, and they're wanting us to have our numbers to go up, our kids' numbers to go up, and they're like, we can't do that safely, legally. We have to have a certain ratio of staff to kids if we're gonna, and so we can't have any more kids. And so it's interesting. And then on top of that, our kinder and first grade, they're together. So our kinder and first grade staff member, yesterday was her last day. She put in her resignation. So you're looking at the new kinder and first grade teacher.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Little kids.
I know.
Little kids.
Which I love. I love every age. I've worked and I've been the staff member of pretty much every age group that the Boys and Girls Club has because I've been with them for so long.
Yeah.
In kinder and first grade, yes, they're a handful, but I love being their staff member because everything intrigues them. The smallest thing can take up 30 minutes. We're we're going to blow bubble. Everything, they're fun.
Everything's amazing.
So it's really easy to plan for them because they don't get bored as easy as teenagers. You know what I mean? They could spend an hour blowing bubbles, which teenagers will do it for 5 minutes and then be like, okay, I'm done.
What's next?
Yeah. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But they're looking forward to summer. We're not going to have enough staff members to have the amount of kids that we usually have for summer. So we're going to have to almost cut our summer in half of the kids that we get. So that's sad because we want to be able to, serve the community as best we can.
Y'all were a lifesaver for me. So I know.
And that's what it's sad, but it's out of our hands.
Yeah,
If we don't have the staff there, then we can't have the kids there.
Yeah. So. I mean, that's true.
But that's where I'm kinder first grade staff member. It's fun.
Did you want to do Valentine's now, or you want to wait and do Valentine's together?
We can do it together. Tell me about your weekend and week.
Okay, well, on Friday, I did not plan to go to San Saba on Friday until I got home. And I got home and I had a little bit of a rough afternoon, and I get home, and Rick had planned to go to San Saba Saturday afternoon because his horses he keeps there, and they had some ticks on them, and he was real worried about them. So he wanted to go and spray them for ticks. So he was just going to go for the day like he does sometimes. Yeah. It's 2.5 hour ways. Anyone that's new to the podcast, my family is from San Saba, Texas, which is the pecan capital of the world in central Texas, also known as the Hill Country. It's beautiful.
It is.
And so we keep our horses on my sister-in-law's ranch with her horses and my now passed away brother's horse. And so he was like, well, now you can go with me. Like, now you can... go for the weekend because, I was going to have lunch with my sister, but she had to cancel.
Oh.
And so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go with you, I guess. And I was like, when? And I was like, in the morning. And he was like, no, right now. Let's go right now.
Like, right now.
I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, we'll go right now. I was like, what are we going to take? Like, are we going to the cabin? He was like, no, the RV, which our cabin is 30 minutes south of the RV. And the RV's on the lease /ranch where the horses are. And so he was like, okay, we'll just stay in the RV. I'd much rather stay in the cabin, but I understand why it's better to stay there. And so I was like, okay, let's go. We get in the car. I take a shower. I throw on comfy clothes for the car ride. We're in the car within 45 minutes. We're on our way.
That's record time.
It is. Impetuous. We were impetuous. And then I was like, what are we going to do for dinner? And we stopped along the way and had dinner. And then we got there, kind of late for us because we go to bed early. And got the RV all set up and everything, got in the RV. Well, it was supposed to rain this weekend. It rained. And I mean, it rained all day long Saturday. And I think we went through 3 hailstorms in the RV, which was wonderful because I just chilled.
Yeah.
All day in the RV with the rain and the hail hitting the RV is so relaxing. And Rick just chilled with me, and we just enjoyed our company because he couldn't go do anything like he planned to do.
Yeah.
So then he was like, I have a cousin that I kind of wanted to see, but he wasn't really feeling great. So I was like, okay, well, if I can't go see him, I'm just going to go into town and, do something, So he's like, all right, I'm going to go work with the horses. And he was going to cut some limbs, whatever, on the ranch. He was like, just drop me off and with my stuff where I need you to on the ranch, and then you go into town and do whatever you want to do, and then come back and get me, and we'll go to dinner. I was like, perfect. This is perfect. So I do that. And the way horses are, when they're like cattle. If they hear your truck and they know your truck and associate it with feed, they're going to chase your truck.
Yeah.
Now, we don't live there, so they free reign eat, So they don't always follow a truck, but they know Rick's 2 horses know Rick's truck. The other horses, they kind of know it. So we pull in, and here come the horses, including Rick's horses, my sister-in-law's horses, and my brother's horse. And his name is Cat Daddy. Cat Daddy was my brother's son. My brother loved this horse. He was his his ranch horse, his working horse. My brother was a professional cowboy for 30 years. I think he had the horse about 20 years. And Cat Daddy is retired now. He's just a, field horse.
I love that name.
I know. It's got a kind of a bad meaning. But if you think about it how you want.
Think about it.
So he's not real friendly either. I'm not going to say he's unfriendly, but he's a working horse. Yeah. He's not a kid's horse. He's not a beginner's horse. And so, excuse me. So we get on the ranch. The horses follow us. We drop everything off. I drop him off. He wanted his beer, his chainsaw, a gun, and a raincoat. That's all. That's all he wanted.
That's all I need.
I was like, here you go, and I leave him. And so as I'm leaving, the horses are following him. Like they realize he's got food for him too.
He's got the goods.
Yeah. So here comes his 2 horses. Here comes the other horses, and Cat Daddy's way behind everybody. He's like chilling. And so I'm like, whatever. He's like, no, go. Cat Daddy will come. I was like, okay. So I start going down the little, if you want to call it a road, on the ranch. And I get to Cat Daddy, and he kind of makes over in front of me in the road and stops me and like stares me down. If you go to my Facebook right now, one of the pictures that I have on my profile is Cat Daddy staring me down in the truck. And I'm like, go, get, because we're country. Get. So I'm getting him. And he won't move. He's just like staring me down. I'm like, get. He won't move. I'm like, Zoll said, get out of my way. And he gets out and he comes over and kind of knocks the mirror. He's got a little attitude, you know. I'm like, you're so ridiculous. So I leave. I go into San Saba. My favorite store ever, not just in San Saba, is Harry's Western Wear. I grew up going to the store. I've taken you to the store.
Yeah, I've been to Harry's.
Love this store. I find awesome boots there. I find all kinds of wonderful things there. Highly recommend. Look it up. You can buy online. The store was built in like 1911 or something. So I go in there. They've got ropers that are the exact same color of my first ropers I ever got, like in 86. And they're like a magenta. And they're beautiful. So I was like, ooh, happy Valentine's to me. And I buy myself some boots and whatever. I fuck around in Harry's and, I bought myself a few other little things. And I got a sticker to put in our gift for our winners that we've not mailed yet. I've been collecting things for them. There's things coming. And so I got a little sticker. And anyway, so then I was like, okay, I'm going to go back. I was only there like an hour. I go back, grab him, and we go to dinner back in San Saba and have a lovely dinner and then go back to bed. It was a wonderful Saturday, just relaxing, got new boots, whatever. So we get up Sunday. He's like, I want to get up early enough to stop and eat breakfast. And normally I make breakfast.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I want us to go into town and get breakfast. I was like, all right, we'll go into town and we'll get breakfast. So we go in, we go to this little cafe, have a wonderful breakfast, and then we're leaving. And he was like, hey, can we go this way to get out of town, which is a different way than we normally go. There's only so many ways in a tiny town. So I'm like, yeah, we can go that way, whatever. And I was like, I'll have to tell you how to do it. So we go through this little neighborhood, and you can take a right to go where we need to go, or you can take a left and go by my mom's. She had a house that my stepdad bought her to remodel, and they made it a rental home, but she was really sick and she was bored in bed all the time. So he gave her a project. This was her project home. Mm-hmm. She finished it right before she passed away. On the front, I'm sure I've shown you the house. There's a big stone in front of it, and it's got a big metal sign that says Sherry's Dream. My mom was Sherry. So we go to turn, and he was like, do you want to go by your mom's house? Is the boulder still up? Is the sign still up, And I was like, yeah, it's still up. I'm sure it's still. He was like, are you sure? When was the last time you done it? I was like, I don't know. With Michelle. I took Michelle down there when she came with us. And he was like, well, let's go down there. I said, okay. So we go down there. We pass Mom's house. And then, I'm telling him the same stories I've told him every time we've ever gone down this fucking road.
Yeah, that's what you do.
So I'm like, oh, my God, there's so-and-so's house for the 500th time. Here's this and here's that. So when you go down that road, there's only like 3 houses. It's Mom's house that she didn't live in, but whatever. It is a house that my stepbrother rents out because half the property on this road is my stepbrother and my stepdad's property. It's their family property. The other side of the road is a different rancher's family. And those are the only houses. And then their house that my stepbrother lives in. Well, on the way there, you pass the wedding oak tree, which is a very famous tree, like top 10 trees of Texas. I'm serious. The Comanches would get married under this tree, and because it was so big, it reached out like so many feet that it provided so much shade that when the Comanches were there, they would have all their council meetings there, their ceremonies there, their weddings there, and then the settlers came to San Saba, 150 years ago, and they realized what the Comanches used that tree for shade, so they started having weddings there. And so it became known as the Wedding Oak Tree. It's on the Historic Society, blah, blah, blah. There's a vineyard named after a wedding tree, whatever. You pass that, and then there's my stepbrother's house to the left. And then you pass that, and there's the oldest suspension bridge, I believe, in the state of Texas. So we got to the suspension bridge. Or no, we didn't get to the suspension bridge yet. We go down there. We get to the oak tree. Rick likes to stop at every historical monument. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. But if you can't stop and we pass really by, if there's a mile marker sign so you can Google
He'll look it up. Oh, yeah.
Do other states do that? Is that just a Texas thing?
I don't know.
So if we have a Texas plaque on it because it's a historical marker, and if there's a state sign, you can put in the number for the mile marker and it'll tell you the story. So you don't have to stop. You're like, oh, what was that? So Rick loves that shit. So we always do that when we're on road trips, whatever. Well, this one doesn't have a mile marker because it's on this country road. I don't know that Rick's ever stopped there. I've shown it to him going to my brother's house, but I don't know that I've ever actually stopped there with him. So he stops and he was like, I want to look at the mile marker. I was like, okay. So he pulls up under it. I'm still in the truck. He gets out. He comes around. I'm like, you want me to get out? He's like, yeah, come over here. I open the door. I get out. I'm not even completely out of the tree. Rick drops a knee and proposed to me.
What? Oh my gosh.
I've been holding it in for days. I've been keeping it down low so you could find out live.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not kidding.
I'm kind of mad, but I'm kind of not.
I've been secret.
Oh my gosh.
We got engaged. Y'all, I got engaged. It took 12 years.
Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my gosh, it's so sparkly.
And he did it under the wedding oak in San
Oh
Saba.
my gosh.
This man doesn't have a romantic bone in his body, and he carried off the perfect
That was so
proposal.
sweet.
He involved my mother. He involved my stepdad without them even being there. They were involved. I was like, oh my God. And did I cry? No. I cry now when I talk about it, but I didn't cry. And my daughter said that was very Aquarius of me not to cry. So good
I love how you like didn't even have the ring on because you didn't want to give it away. You didn't want to give it away.
No. And I'll be honest with you.
Because I would have been like, what? What is
yes,
that?
you would have noticed.
What is that?
And I'll be honest with you. I had my grandmother's ring on when he proposed. So I've been wearing it on this finger since I inherited it.
Yeah.
You know, so I had it on and he gives it to me and he's on one knee, just so precious. Cowboy hat on, y'all.
Oh,
it's just
my
stupid. And so I'm like, I got another ring on my finger right now. He was like, leave it on. And I was like, what? He goes, leave it on. That's your grandmother's ring. Wear them together. Just starting today, wear them together. So I've been wearing them together. So I actually look married, but it will be my wedding band.
I love it.
Isn't it exciting? Are you so excited?
I am so excited.
I knew you would be so surprised.
I want to be your flower girl.
Here's the best part. Is Saturday night we went to dinner and he was being so like over the top loving and sweet. And I was like, what's wrong with you?
I love how that's your reaction.
What is going on with you?
What's going on?
And he was like, nothing. I'm going to cover you with love. He literally said that, y'all. As he's being all sweet. And we're in the RV and the rain is hitting it, you know, all the sweet stuff. And so, I was like, what is going on? So I text Mary and I'm like, I'm pretty sure Rick is about to propose because he's acting crazy. And so then I was like, So then I text I text like one of the mini group texts of the girls. And I'm like, I think this is about to happen.
It's about to go down.
Kelly's not on the group text because she hates them.
Yeah. Don't you ever add me to a group text.
No. And,
unless you want us to remain friends, don't do it.
Exactly. And so then I'm like, when I got dressed that night for dinner, I was like, he might do this tonight. I need to look cute. We're going to take a picture. So I got my new pink boots on, and I was looking all cute. I bought cute earrings. I'm looking cute when we go to dinner. He has like a steak dinner. I have a delicious chicken dinner. We're having a great time. Next morning, when we're on our way home, and he actually proposes at 9 a.m. on a Sunday, because, you know. So you don't see that shit coming. No. I never thought that's how that would work out. So we had gone to breakfast, and it rained, like I said, nonstop, and we're on the ranch. It's muddy. Mm-hmm. So I'm wearing leggings, and at this point, I'd brought a few leggings, but I had, worn them all weekend. So I'm down to my coming home leggings, which have a hole in them. I'm wearing rain boots. I'm wearing a sweatshirt that's torn and says Mamacita.
So you're looking cute.
My hair's in braids. Gray is like shining. No makeup, no nothing. Just legit, hadn't showered since Friday because there's no hot water in the RV. I am rough. And Rick's over there looking like he just walked off fucking Yellowstone.
Yeah, of course.
But I will say he had broken his belt catching his horse. How Yellowstone is that? His horse is scared of the bridle and shit, so he'll run from him. So he instead pulls his belt off at the last minute and uses that to catch his horse. And he broke his belt accidentally. I don't know what happened.
Oh, no.
So he's like Gilligan in it with like rope around his waist, but you can't see it. But it is there, just so you know. We were rough.
That's so funny.
And so I said, do you see what I look like? Do you see? And he was like, you look beautiful. What are you talking about? I was like,
aww.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I was like, let's take a picture. So we take 2 pictures, that's it. We take, because, I'm not a big picture person. We take a picture of the historical marker, and then we take a picture of the two of us, and I'm like, smile, look. He was happy. The man was giddy all weekend. I mean, like I said, I was surprised because he did it like he did it when he did it, but I kind of saw it coming, and then I just thought, okay, he's not going to do it. Yeah. Like, I kind of thought the rain had ruined whatever he had planned.
Yeah.
And so, and I even texted the same group text, and I was like, okay, maybe he's not, because the rain has ruined it, whatever. And Mary's like, tell him not to be a pussy. Tell him to stop being a pussy.
Man up.
Yeah.
Little rain never hurt nothing.
Turns out this was his plan the whole time.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet.
And I know. And so he did really good, but I did look homeless. I did get very excited. He was extra sweet and romantic, and he's been extra sweet and romantic ever since then. He's just been, I didn't expect him to be as happy as he is. I know that sounds weird, but he's just not that kind of person that's sentimental. I see it every once in a while in him, but like, he was just trained you don't show your feelings. He's John Wayne. Yeah. So when I see him like showing his feelings so openly, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot you have feelings. Like, sorry, John Wayne. But he's just been on cloud 9. And so
I saw that picture that you had posted.
That was my tease.
That you were like, I told him to smile.
Yes. Well, then we got in the truck. That was right after it happened, literally. And so we get in the truck, and I said, I'm not putting this on Facebook. He was like, what? And I was like, no, Kelly's the only person not in the group text. We're doing this on the podcast because I might as well make good podcast out of it, Got
to use it for material, man.
I was like, so don't put it out there until I get it, until it posts on the podcast. Like, even now, we can't. It takes a week, y'all. So Kelly now has to hold it in also for a week. So then I had to tell all our girlfriends, that are I said, don't tell Kelly. Because this is what I'm going to do. And they were like, okay. And then I was like, and don't put it on Facebook and don't comment anything. I'm teasing, but this is because it's going to help with, people are going to find, all our listeners are going to be in it. Yeah. They're going to enjoy it. I feel like they know us.
Yes.
And so they're like, Erica's like, damn it, I almost just posted a congratulations. And I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. So, yes, as of Sunday, I am engaged. We have zero plans. Don't ask me what we're going to do. Probably elope in Colorado. Right. I don't really know. That's what my niece did, and it was awesome.
I said, if I do get married again, I'm eloping. I'm not having a wedding.
Well, he said yesterday, the day before, let's just go to JP like this week. You want to just go to JP? I was like, no, motherfucker. We waited 12 years. We're getting a vacation out of this.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone else to go with us. No. But I would like you and I to go somewhere lovely. And so he was like, okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So that's what happened. That was my weekend.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you.
I was like, I texted you. I was like, you were like, I said, I always text Kelly all my stories because I'll forget. And so I'm like, don't let me forget I got a crazy story. And so she came in, what was that story? Do you remember? Oh, I remember.
I ain't going to forget that
one. I remember. Yes.
Oh, my God.
And then for Valentine's Day, he was like, he said this yesterday morning. So remember, we had discussed this. We're not doing anything for Valentine's Day, right? And I was like, we did not fucking discuss that. I don't know what you're talking about. You just got a very large diamond. And I was like, I don't care. That has nothing to do with Valentine's Day, which I really don't care about Valentine's Day. We don't get in it. We give each other something small and sweet, but yeah. I don't. I think it's silly to overpay for flowers. I mean, if you can get them a good deal, great. But although I do like to get from one of my friends that does it, but I'm too far now to deliver them to work, so we haven't been doing it. Anyway, so I was like, okay, whatever. And I told him, I was like, you don't actually have to get me a Valentine gift, but just, a card you make yourself, like just something little like that. And so it was like, and he was like, he goes, I already have a plan. Which he's been telling me he had a plan for asking me forever. So he can plan. He apparently can do these things. Yeah. So I stopped by my friend's chocolate shop in Red Oak. It's like Goodies. I wish I'd thought to write this down. Goodies Chocolates. It's in Red Oak, Texas. Look up Goodie Chocolate. And delicious. She makes handmade chocolates, and they're delicious. So I stopped by there, and I got chocolate-covered strawberries for the kids, and then I got him some chocolate-covered strawberries and then some, treats from the chocolate shop. It was delicious. And I brought that home. And he detailed my truck for me inside and out. And that was my gift. And it took him 4 hours.
That's a good gift right there.
I've had my truck 2.5 years. I've never once detailed the inside of it. I vacuum it every once in a while, but I've never wiped anything. And it's not dirty. Like, you don't get in it and you're like, this is a dirty truck. But you'll be like, there's some dust in here. She's been on a ranch road, clearly. So after he was like 2 hours in on it, he was like, I made maybe the wrong decision. This is like $200 worth of work.
I'm really regretting this.
Yeah. So I have a beautiful new truck. It's all nice and shiny.
I want to go see it when we get done.
Yeah. So he couldn't see. It took so long. He couldn't see all the interior. And I was like, I got to go back and get some spots. It got dark and I couldn't see anymore. It took him hours. He stopped working on it to eat dinner and then went back to finish.
Wow.
Because it took that long. Good times.
That's a good man right there.
I know. So tell me about your Valentine's.
Mine was good. We're the same. We don't really go out and do anything because I'm not a big Valentine's person anyways. But I always make Dante something for his Valentine's Day. Last year I drew him a little pinup of myself and he loved it.
Oh, that was a good one.
And this year I made him a card. But I also went and got him, so he like loves Reese's and he loves cheesecake. So I got him those. And, I told him all I wanted was chocolate. So he got me a big heart of chocolate. Cause I love that. That's my favorite thing of Valentine's Day is the big heart box of chocolates.
Yeah.
That's all I want. And so he got me that.
I love some chocolate covered cherries.
Yeah. Oh, I do too.
I'll take the cheap ones that are like, that used to be like $1.99.
Yeah. Those are my
Perfect.
mom and dad's favorite.
With maraschino cherries in them. Hell yeah.
And then one of our first date, actually I think our first date was, we went to not Buffalo Wild Wings. We went to Wingstop and so now any big like our anniversary or sometimes like fun things, we get Wingstop. Aww. And so I got Wingstop and we had Wingstop for our dinner that night because I didn't want to go anywhere. I don't like going out on Valentine's Day.
We had pulled pork sandwiches that I made at home, but they were fucking delicious.
I bet. Anything
I'm not kidding. Like there was nothing left. Nothing. I could not believe it was a very large amount of food that we devoured. It was delicious. But I'm the same way. I don't need all that over the top. No. You know, if he wants to do something for me, he does it year round. He'll come home with stuff, flowers or something. He thought it might be a kitchen gadget. You know. Today he did come home, though. He's such an asshole. I come down. I'm upstairs. He comes upstairs. He goes, hey, you see that Valentine gift I have down for you downstairs? I said, what? He goes, down in the garage. You see that stuff in the bag? I got you some Valentine gifts. And I was like, no, I did see a bag of cleaning supplies, and I just assumed you shopped for yourself. And we both laughed. And I left him there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
those are yours.
He was joking. So that's my catching up.
We're all caught up. All right. So our topic for this week is getting to a deeper level in a relationship. Now, whether this be a friendship, a significant other, a family member, what things contribute to growing a relationship and taking it to a deeper level?
I just did this.
You sure did.
We were talking about I just have to say this. We were talking about topics to discuss today, and the whole time I was like, okay, this is going to go with that.
It's going to tie in perfectly.
She doesn't even know. So, yeah, I just want you to know I was actually thinking these things.
Well, that's funny. That's funny.
Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
So, well, I wrote down a couple of things that come to mind for me, obviously, but one of the things would be discussing deep thoughts. So for me, this is big because I'm an open book, but I stay closed. So unless you open me up and start asking me questions, I don't necessarily I don't put forth information. I'm not somebody that just sits there and talk. I just don't do that.
That's me. I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
And Dante's very much the same way because he likes to be quiet too. So we can just sit and be in the car and just not even listen to the radio, just being quiet. And that's one of my favorite things about him is that we can just be silent together and everything's totally fine.
Do you think that ever affects y'all like getting to know each other better because neither of you are natural talkers?
This is one thing I thought when we very first started dating. I remember that I would be sitting there, like if we were in the car or something like that, and I would be thinking in my head, like, should I be talking to him? Should I bring up something? Should I ask him about something? And I'd be going through all of this, like, what should I ask him? Should I ask him something? Like, and it would drive me crazy because that's what I thought. I was like, I don't want him to think I'm not interested. I don't want him to think this was a problem then. We're 5 years in now, so it's not a really big deal. But
you're at the comfort level now. You can just sit in silence comfortably.
Yeah,
but I love that.
And so, but in other relationships, like friendships and stuff like that, it's another thing. I don't pry either. I'm not going to ask you personal questions. If something's wrong, I'm not going to ask you what's wrong. Like, because I don't like it when people do that to me.
Same.
And so it can be kind of hard for me to get to the deeper level when it comes to discussing deep things, because I'm so guarded and I don't like to feel like I am intruding on other people's personal business. Like if you want to talk about it, they'll bring it up. Or if you want to discuss it, I'll let you bring it up.
I treat it like HIPAA, which is all you HR people, that you don't ask questions about people's health. And it's not, I don't know, it's a good thing that I don't ask questions at all.
I'm the same way.
I mean, now if I'm your best friend, like I will, there have been a time or two you and I have been are you okay? Mm-hmm. And Mary and I the same way. But see, you typically attract best friends that are on that same wavelength. So it's cool. Mm-hmm. But if you have two people on a different wavelength, it can create a problem when one person. Yeah. But that's cool. You're all on the same wavelength.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I've had it be a problem in the past, like with friendships and stuff like that. And I just feel like sometimes I don't feel like I'm there for people as much as I would like to be. I am there, but I don't vocalize it as much as I know that other people do.
Well, as someone who's gone through trauma, like deaths and stuff with you do fine.
Oh, thank you.
Because you're like, just show up. You might not talk about it and annoy, which is perfect, by the way, at least in my world. Because you're just like, I'm just going to sit here. Do you need a drink?
Yeah. I'm just going to be.
What can I do? You want me to curl your hair? What can we do?
Yeah. So that's what I do. So, but that is a big thing when you're get to a deeper, level in a relationship, is actually getting to the point where you can discuss deep things, and going into what we discussed before with him knowing what I would want if something would ever happen to me. That's a big, deep thing, kind of discussion. And I wouldn't have even thought to have that kind of conversation with him if that hadn't happened. And not even just like me dying or anything, but if there was something happened where I wasn't able to communicate with people.
Yeah.
How would he proceed? Like and it makes it easier for him too, because if he was ever put in that situation, he wouldn't know, and he would want to, but he would be like, I don't want to say anything or do anything that she's going to be upset with. So having that discussion of what things could possibly happen, well, how would you want them to handle that?
Rick and I have been arguing about where I'd be buried for about 8 years. I'm not kidding.
Oh, that's an important thing.
Because I am going to be buried on in my family cemetery that you have been to.
Yeah.
He thinks it's too far away. He thinks he's going to die after me because he's younger.
Yeah.
And in better shape. And he doesn't say that, but it's self-explanatory. And he wants me to be in Red Oak so he can visit me with his dad. And I was like, I like how you've made a plan.
Right.
I could be like my stepdad, where when my mom died, I said there was no room next to hers because she's up against the fence because she wanted to be next to her dad. So Pete, fucking Pete, he told Rick and I, he goes, that's fine, just cremate me and throw me on top of her. That's where I like to be.
Right on top.
He said that to her daughter, me.
Oh my God.
I'd laugh. I was like, but funny. And Rick lost his shit, man. He was like, that's great.
That's a good one.
So what I'm saying is he could throw some of me in the cemetery. I want a headstone. I want there to be 2 Zetas in that cemetery. So people 100 years from now be like, oh, tie it together.
Do you not want to be cremated?
I don't care.
Because if you were, then
he could put a headstone there.
Put a headstone and bury some ashes.
That was my compromise, is he could get me a headstone, which he would do, and then throw some ashes there, and then throw some ashes with wherever he wants. I don't care. He can put them wherever he wants to, as long as it's not like some new wife's house.
Right.
Because I will haunt you. You will die. I will fuck your world. No, I'm kidding.
See,
that's my cowboy.
I want Dante to do what you do. I want to be cremated, and I want him to carry a little dime bag of me around everywhere he goes.
Hang on.
I guess that would be just perfect.
I tell you, I know my brother hates me right now from heaven because he was not social. He was social. He was more social than Rick. Was he so social? This is my brother, y'all. I'm carrying this motherfucker around for 2 years. And does he like it? No, I don't think he does. But does he have a choice? No.
Sure
he doesn't have. You know what? You shouldn't have bullied me. Shouldn't have called me tape feed, motherfucker.
This is payback.
Now you get to go to girls' weekends. You get to go to the bathroom. You get to go to the mall. Wherever I want to go. Walmart.
Wherever I wanna go.
Target. We go to Target all the time.
This is his new favorite place.
Yeah, all the time. We get in traffic together.
Yep.
Yeah. So sorry. Anyways, you could be as sick as me carrying my brother around.
Right.
For a minute there today, when I had to hide my ring from you, I had my ring in the box next to my brother, and I thought, that's funny. I'm just saying.
All right. Do you have one you want to throw out?
Okay, that's probably enough for me. No, I'm kidding.
No, you just sit there. I'm going to talk.
Yeah, mine was when we brought up the subject of, what brings you closer. Mine was death. And because Rick and I have been through a lot of freaking deaths. So, and I'm not going to go into detail because it's depressing as shit. But I lost my mom a little less than a year after we started dating. And no, I guess it's been longer than that because we just figured out how long we've been together the other day.
Did y'all?
As of this April, it'll be 12 years we met. Wow. We were within a year. We weren't sure. We thought it might be 11. It's 12. And so she died fairly soon after we started dating. He never met her. She was sick, so he never got to meet her. She didn't want to do that while she felt bad. And so I went through that. He lost 2 uncles he was very close to, and he lost his dad, and then I lost my brother. And so I just think between those are very important. His uncles were like another dad to him. He was very, very close to him. 2 uncles or 3? He's lost 3 uncles and a dad, like very close uncles. Since we met. So I just think that really does bond you because when you lose a parent, and a brother, you're fucking crazy. I went crazy every time. I didn't yell and scream and act stupid, but you're like a different person. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I cry, I tear up thinking about it. Yeah. And he just showed up. He just did what he needed to do to get me through it and just showed up. It might be showing up and taking the kids. I mean, there were times he just came and picked up my kids and took them somewhere. He's not that guy. He's close to my kids. He loves my kids, but he's like the mean, fun uncle. Like,
that's so true.
Come here, you little assholes. I'm gonna kick your ass. But then he's really taking them on a boat and letting them tube. Yeah. And he's got drinks and snacks and shit. Like he doesn't want to admit he's the fun stepdad. But he is. They adore him. Yeah. And all of them. And Zoe moving in with us has grown, like, she's like, I didn't realize he was so awesome. Like, she gets it. So I'd say death. The other thing would be me having 2 kids with special needs. Mm-hmm. That's a challenge. And he, in the beginning, didn't understand it. And that's a deal breaker. Like, it's a deal breaker. But he never was, like, rude or an asshole or try to intervene or give me parenting advice or whatever.
That's big.
He just stepped back. Yeah, because we would have broken up.
Yeah.
And he just stepped back and let me handle it. And his kid is like an angel, and she's a cakewalk, and she's awesome, and she's simple and smart and wonderful. He is a wonderful, wonderful, easy child. Some of mine aren't so easy, and that's why we waited so long to take our relationship to where it is. Yeah. We prioritized the children, and I raised my kids, and he raised his kid. Because it wasn't just that I thought my 2 autistic kids would struggle with the change. I worried about his daughter inheriting 4 siblings, 2 with special needs after being an only child. Yeah. With that much one-on-one attention. Because Rick and his daughter are best friends. They have an amazing relationship. And honestly, it's what attracted me to him. Like, I mean, other than his good looks and, winning personality.
Bright and bubbly.
He was, honestly, it was him being such a good father. So I think the fact that he started understanding, and then he realized that he didn't know anything about anything in regards to special needs, and he was willing to change his opinion and become understanding of things he didn't even know existed, I guess. And he's been great about it. The kids have a great relationship with him. He's never been. They've never been like, I hate him. Zaylee's yelled, "You're not my dad."
Well, of course she's going to take it.
But there was no argument. She was just being crazy.
Yeah, she's just being Zaylee.
Yeah. And but I think the special needs, I think the death, I think that's the 2 that will do it. And obviously that brings conversations. Mm-hmm. They both bring conversations, and they bring hard conversations. And if my kid's being abused at school and or being treated poorly and shit's going down, or all that other stuff that happens when you have special needs kids. You know, he had to hear it from me and listen to me break down and, you know, or rant or, you know, whatever the case is. Mm-hmm. And in the beginning when I would rant, he didn't really know how to take it. He would try to cheer me up, and I didn't want that. And, you know, it took us like 2 years into a relationship to be like, listen, I don't want your fucking opinion. I just need you to listen. Yeah. You're my sounding board. Shut up. I don't care what you think. No offense.
Yeah.
But you don't know what I'm doing. You don't know my life. Like, you might know my life and we're together, but you don't live it. You're not in home with me. You're not dealing with this. And as we've been together longer, he's gotten it. And he's gotten, you know. So I think that's what did it.
Yeah. I totally agree with the going through loss, helping to deepen a relationship. Because even like with us, some of the first kind of things that we did together, like our long distance road trip, was to a funeral. And that was one of the first times that we had spent that much time.
I mean, is that not the craziest
together?
Thing?
And like in a car.
Let's update people, because Kelly and I, when we first became friends, I had a death of someone close to me in Houston, and I needed someone to go with me. But I didn't ask you.
Nope.
And this is a perfect example of you handling death where you don't really need to say much or do much. Mm-hmm. And you said, you want me to go with you? And you barely knew me. And I was like, yep. Yeah, I do. Please go with me.
And I was like, say no more. I cleared my schedule and I went, because I didn't know what to do for you or anything like that. And we had just become friends. But I was like, if I could do anything, it's just being there.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't want you, I thought in my head of you having to go that whole trip just by yourself. I'm like, that's not good. That I might not be able to do or even say anything, but just being able to be there and give you somebody so that you're not alone, that would help me.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
and I hate to say this. This sounds horrible, because the person that passed away was someone very close to me and I really cared a lot about. But we had a good time.
We really did.
You cheered me up. You had me. I would have been crying the whole way there and the whole way back. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, his ex-girlfriend hated me and got up and left in the middle of it, and that was awkward. And I would have been by myself, but instead I had a little hottie over next to me, which made me look better, because they're like, "Oh, she's got hot friends." I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, really thank God you were there. And it worked. Yeah. So you're right. So that's a perfect example of you knowing when to step in as a friend.
And that bonded us.
It definitely did. There was trauma bond. Would you like to go to a funeral for someone you don't know with me in Houston? Which, by the way, people that don't live in Texas is big.
Very
Houston's
big.
4.5 hours away. And we did it in one day.
Yep.
And you can't ride in the car with what we're going to wear to a funeral. So we're like trying to figure out what we're going to change. It was an adventure.
Yeah. It was fun though.
Yeah. So that's good friendship.
Another one of mine would be, so this is definitely a personal thing. Whenever somebody builds me up and encourages me, that very much makes me feel more attached to them, because I'm a very happy person. I'm a very positive person. I feel good about myself, but I think everybody has the low times and everybody has things that they can better about themselves. And when you're with somebody, or if you have a friend that brings out those and encourages those things and encourages you to like branch out, or, oh, you want to start up this business? Okay, you can do it. Or, oh, you want to start a podcast? Okay, let's do it. You know, somebody that really and doesn't just encourages you, but actually helps you with those steps and helps you plan it and is a part of it and promotes it for you. Those kind of people, that makes me feel more connected to people, because I know that they're wanting me to succeed.
Yeah.
And so when you feel like your partner or your friend really wants you to succeed, that makes me feel more connected to them, because it's not just a fair weather friend. I can really tell that they are invested in me, and they're wanting me to succeed. And even when it's hard, like, if you're not being your healthiest self, or if there's things that they see that, hey, we need to work on this, like me and you, we've gone and we've worked out together and we've done, things to help improve our health. And that really helps me feel like a person really cares about me.
Yeah. And a good example is that it's not just you and I that do that for each other, but a bunch of our girlfriends, like whether it be Erica's music. Mm-hmm. So you've sang backup for her and helped her, been in her video. I've helped her with writing songs. And she's helped us by being our music at the beginning of the podcast and the end of the podcast for free, and didn't charge us and said, yes, free reign. In fact, the song that's on there is not even released.
Yep.
She was like, I said, I want to use that song. She said, use it. And so I think that that's a perfect example of that, of someone supporting it. And I think that's why when you look at our group of friends, it's all creative people.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yeah, and we all encourage one another.
Yeah,
and that's great.
That's a good one. I think that when when you brought up the topic and the subject, one of the first things I thought of, because of this fact that we did just have the engagement and all this kind of stuff, is that I'm going to just call out the elephant in the room. Rick's mom doesn't like me. Yeah. And it really was about, we were going to break up over it, or we were going to overcome it. But something had to happen. Like, it had to be dealt with. And I had to be my best version of myself handling the situation, and he had to be his best version of himself handling the situation, because that's tricky ground. You don't want your significant other's parent not to care for you, but if it happens and you can't control it, then there's expectations on them that you have to hold them accountable for, because your mental health counts as well and your feelings count as well. And I'll be honest with you, it almost broke us a few years ago. It definitely put a spoke in the wheel because that's hard. It's not how I envisioned it. And because my family thinks he hung the moon.
Yeah.
And my brother, before he died, said, if y'all break up, I'm taking him in the divorce. I listed my brother I listed Rick on my brother's obituary as his brother-in-law because he was.
Yeah.
And so I think in a situation like ours, with his mom not caring for me, it was going to break us, or it was going to build us stronger. A matter of how we discussed it with each other and handled it. And I'll be honest with you, in the beginning, it was not handled right, and it created the problems on both our parts, probably. I should have stood up for myself sooner, and he maybe should have stood up for me sooner. But he did handle it correctly eventually, and I handled it correctly eventually. So now we get to this point that we're engaged, and we're in it's a new era, I guess. But when it's someone's parent, even if they don't care for you and you don't care for them, I don't want to create more problems. And I don't want to create more bad blood, and I don't want to put him in a situation where he ever feels like there's a choice or anything like that, And so even since we've had our falling out, I've removed myself from family events of his to remove that everyone in the family knows, So I removed myself because that's her family. Like, she can't miss it. This is her family. And now he's my family. That's her whole family. Yeah. I'm not going to make someone feel uncomfortable, even if they don't like me and I don't like them. I'm not going to make them feel uncomfortable around their whole family, because that's disrespectful to Rick. Mm-hmm. Like, I have to respect Rick. And so it ended up making us closer and building the relationship deeper, working through it. So that when we did finally get to the point that we are now, I can look at it like, okay, this is where we are. That's part of the reason we'll elope and not have a wedding, because I obviously wouldn't want her around me. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like she wants to be around me. So it's best we elope, so it's not awkward or weird, and there's no decisions to be made, and not one person's being left out.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to create a rift that he has to handle.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's drawn us closer.
Yeah.
Because he understands I'm not trying to create more problems. I'm trying to make it easier.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. And that is us working through it, because 5 years ago I was ready to throw hands. And now I'm like, no, we don't need this negative. We don't need this. We don't need this in our lives. Not only does Rick not need it, but more importantly than Rick is Madison does not need it, because that's her grandma. And I adore Madison. The last thing I want her doing is feeling like she has to pick between me and her grandma, or that she has to defend me to her grandma.
Yeah.
It doesn't go the other way, because I'm careful.
Yeah.
But I don't want her to ever feel in the middle or feel awkward, or, that's part of being in a relationship. If you're in a relationship with somebody with children, you're in a relationship with those children. You're invested in those children, and her feelings count, and his feelings count, and his mom's feelings count. That I get it. I got kids. I care for them, and maybe this isn't something I would do. I didn't come from where she came from.
Yeah.
So Rick and I really worked through it, and living together did help when he moved in. Because you're forced you can't run from each other.
That'll definitely take you to a deeper level in a relationship.
It did. It did.
And even with, not even just with the significant other, but if like moving in with a friend, like that always changes.
It'll make or break it.
It really will. It really will. Living with somebody definitely puts you on the burner there.
It does.
You never know what way it's going to go.
Yeah. But I just think that the moral of my things are, between a parent not liking you, death, special needs kids, is how you handle trauma in situations like that is what will make or break the relationship and draw you closer, or end it, or create something toxic.
Yeah.
And so with my older age now, I'm trying to be more, not that I was ever toxic, but
more aware
of how it affects everyone. I would even say I was aware then. I just think that your emotions sometimes get the best of you.
I think it takes time. Like, as you grow, you're maturing, you're learning, you're never stop evolving. Right. So you might not have you might have all the wherewithal and understanding at one point, but you just don't know how to put that into practice and what's going to work.
Right.
And so as time goes on, you really figure out what's important to you and what's important to make it work. Yeah. And you can.
Well, we had to find a happy median with this situation, and the happy median was, which was not a problem, and what we've done since it started was I don't care if you go see your family. I don't care if it's a Saturday night and I'm stuck at home. I don't care if it's Christmas Day and I have to find something else to do and that's your family Christmas. I'm never keeping someone from their family.
That's important.
Because I see you Monday through Friday. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to do that. I don't care if I like everybody. I don't care if they like me. I'm never going to be her. I don't want to be that person. And that's not been a challenge. That's been an easy, you go do you. You go have, you whatever. Would I at some point want to be part of? No, the ship has sailed.
We're over that.
I don't care if we're engaged, married. This is never going to change. This is where we're meant to be. And that's fine. We can be mean to be there and be good. And him and I are in such a good place because we made it through that challenge. That was a big fucking challenge. I'm not going to lie. It was a huge challenge. Yeah. We did it. We made it. Woo, woo. I still like him. I will say this, asshole. The day before yesterday, he gets up in the morning. We both get up with the crack of dawn. He gets up. He's in like his underwear, board short underwear, whatever you call those. He's like, we have this long, the mirror in my room, the long, big mirror, the great mirror. And he's standing in front of it. And he's like over the top, like looking at himself in the mirror, like being funny.
Ooh.
Like flexing. I mean, he's in pretty good shape. I'm not going to lie. I'm in like my worst shape and he's like in his best shape. It's just, I'm like, can you gain some weight? I have been feeding you like crazy. What is wrong here? And he's looking at me here, he goes, this is the best shape I've ever been in. This is the best shape. Look at this stomach. Look how flat this stomach is. Look at these abs. Look at this arm.
Check this out.
Do you see? This is the best I've ever looked. This is the best I've ever. I was like, fuck you.
Can you go to work already?
I'm over there perimenopause, fat, and my hair's like doing weird shit and turning gray, and I got new wrinkles every day. I got creping going on, and this motherfucker, look how good I look. He eats like a pig.
Guys, I
make this big ass meal. I take 4 bites. He eats 3 plates. He's the best he's ever looked. I'm the worst. I'm like, I literally hate you, but you're mine.
You're mine.
You're stuck for life.
And that's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen.
We made it through the worst part is what I hope. So, not that it was ever hard, you know what I mean? But there are challenges.
I'll tell you, man.
You got to, and like with you said, you said with friends. I think with friends, having a relationship where you get deeper and you get closer. Death, still. I stick to the same thing. Yep. Special needs kids, same thing.
Yeah.
But also, I think that when you have a ride or die friend, the things you show up for So, again, with Mary, she's been through all these deaths with me. I've been through them with her. When her dad was passing away, she was like, will you help me go to my dad's house? And I was like, yeah. And her dad was still alive. He was very sick, though. She was like, his feet have been really hurting him, trying to find something for his feet. His feet really hurt really bad. I was like, all right, well, I worked in retail for years, and what I used to get all my employees for Christmas was this really good foot soak. And it was like Arm & Hammer. It wasn't expensive. It just was awesome. Mm-hmm. Like, if your feet hurt really bad, it was mainly for the holiday help and the beginners that their feet weren't used to it, because mine were used to it. And so I was like, I know the perfect thing. So we go get some of that. We go over there. She soaks his feet, and we rub his feet for him. I'm rubbing her dad's feet for her, and she's rubbing her dad's feet. And that's what friends do. And I will tell you, there have been times that my dad or my stepmom, before she passed away, needed something. Mary lives closer to them than I do, but still 30 minutes away from them and without traffic. And she would show up at my dad's house and do whatever he needed and help him. And just, she'd show up is the point. And you would show up. You've showed up for my kids.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's a real friend when you show up. When you show up for things you don't want to show up for. Like, yeah, it'd be way more convenient for you not to have to stop at my house and unlock a door.
Yeah.
But would you? Yes. And when I put emergency pickups on my kids' thing, you're on there. And I know it's not convenient for you, but I know I need someone I can depend on.
Yeah.
And that's really, I think that's when a deep friendship comes in too.
Yeah. Someone that you can really rely on.
Yeah.
And not just for the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's fun when you have a girlfriend who's going to be there on girls' night.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah.
But it's important when they're there when you can't be there to do something, or if it's after hours.
Are you going to go on a 4.5-hour road trip to a funeral for someone you don't know?
And you just got to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you,
Kelly might still lick her on that road trip.
It was okay. Okay.
You didn't steal it.
I did, but I did.
I mean, you did steal it. I was like, oh my God, we got to go right now. Come on. No one has any idea what we're talking about.
No. We went to a Mexican restaurant before the funeral, and because we were hungry, we just got there. And I went to go to the restroom. I'm standing outside the restroom because I'm waiting for the restroom. That somebody was in the restroom, so it was just the one person. And as I'm waiting, there is this like ottoman, like the little table has some drawers in it.
Not ottoman, it's a dresser.
Oh, it is. Oh yeah, it was a dresser.
Ottoman's a chair.
I'm sorry,
thing.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's a benchish chair.
Okay, there's a table and there's beautiful mirrors. So I'm just standing there. I'm looking at the mirror because I love mirrors. And then this cute little desk and has. So I'm just like I'm waiting and I'm bored. So
it's
I'm
like in a hallway.
Yeah, it's in a hallway. And I'm like I opened up the drawers to just because I'm curious. And in the drawer, like in two of them, there wasn't anything. But in one of them,
there was. You kept looking.
Yeah, there was a napkin. It was a napkin that they use, like a cloth napkin, and in it was wrapped up were these little like miniature tequila bottles. And it was just wrapped up in the napkin in there. So obviously somebody stashed it there. I'm thinking
obviously we needed to take them.
It was like one of the workers or something had stashed these little mini bottles in there. And I'm like, okay. And so I just put them in my bra, and we know where girls put everything. Go to the restroom, and we're about done. Like I'd gone to the restroom before we left. Like we had already like paid.
We're leaving.
We're like paid and everything. And so I get back to the table. I'm like, we good? And she's like, yeah. I was like, okay, let's get out of here before they realize.
And we're on our way to the funeral. So then we're at the funeral,
and I pull it out of my bra. I'm like, hey, you need some of this?
And then we became best friends. We have been best friends since that day, really.
We really have. So if I hadn't have gone on that road trip with you, because if I would have thought, oh no, it's inconvenient, I don't want to do that, I don't want to go to a funeral, I would have missed that whole bonding experience.
I know, it was. It's a good story.
Really.
We had a good time. We've been on a few road trips.
We have. Yeah.
Last weekend was the 1-year anniversary of our road trip to the wedding where you got hit on by a family member.
Yeah,
that was a girl.
That was fun.
And then we left there to go to a funeral.
We did.
I put this bitch through shit. You want to go to another funeral? How many I'm like dragging her ass everywhere.
I'm the perfect funeral date. Let me tell you that right now.
She's a good funeral date. That is true. I'm just going to start showing up with her everywhere on funerals. Yeah, that's good. That's good bonding. What else? What else is there? Is there anything else? I'm trying to think of like other things that are not as depressing as death and special
Right.
needs. But you know, I mean, happy things are easy.
They really are.
So that's not necessarily it. In friendships too, like you said, it's easy to have a fun time on a girls' weekend. It is not easy to get through other issues all the time, divorces, whatever. I will say, I don't love group text either, believe it or not, but I like the group text with my core girls because the shit they put on there that you would never say out loud or admit to, except unless maybe Brandy. Brandy will admit to some crazy shit. Erica too. But like even deeper, they go even deeper, and it is some funny shit. Some of the stuff they text, I'm just like, this is why we're friends, because the shit that comes out of their mouth. Brandy today sent the group text, and she's just bought a new house, and she's re-wallpapering and she's in hell. Have you ever removed wallpaper?
Yes.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I know.
It is literally hell. And if I wanted to torture someone, I'd make them remove wallpaper.
This is what you're going to do.
I had a house that needed wallpaper removed, and I got about halfway through it and said, fuck this shit, and went out and bought paintable wallpaper and re-wallpapered it and painted it. Because fuck this shit.
Problem solved.
When she started bitching about it, I was like, buy some paintable wallpaper and just paint it. That's what I vote. She was like, no, I got to take this off. And she's been complaining about it for days. And so then today she texted and she was like, all right, everybody, don't forget this weekend we're having a removed wallpaper party at my house. Mary immediately, who also hates group text, Mary immediately was like, sorry, I got to work. I work a lot. You might just want to not include me in this next invite. And then Erica's like, I'm a fucking soccer mom, bitches. I can't make it. Like, she makes everything.
Yeah.
She can't make that.
Sorry.
But as a good friend, I'm like, I really should go. She would help me, and she would.
Yeah, she would.
But I actually have plans this weekend. But I will probably eventually be out there helping her scrape some wallpaper, and I will probably make you go.
Okay. I mean,
But honestly, that's what friends show up for.
They do.
Now, am I going to wait till you've exhausted all other options? Yes, I am.
I'm going to be that last straw that just comes through. But then that makes you seem so much better, too.
Yeah,
but if you're like the one person that comes through at the end, like...
I mean, I'm chancing it might not happen, though, and I'm okay with that. And like I said, I re-wallpapered my wall rather than finish it. That's how much I hate it. Like, I would have not bought the house to avoid removing the wallpaper.
Maybe this will be something that brings you to a deeper level of a relationship.
Maybe you should go
Brandy.
with us. If you go, I might go.
Okay, fine.
I would like to see our house, and it is on Lake Granbury, and we are going to want access to Lake
Yeah,
Granbury.
we got to get in good.
So we need to get in there and at least
Yeah.
get one room down for her.
That's true.
I mean, it might be the bathroom.
It's going to be a down payment for us.
And I'd like to say I have a boat, we could bring it, but that's a whole nother story because Rick had a horrible thing happen this weekend on Monday. Oh, no. He keeps our boat at his mom's house because she lives in the county and has an acre and we don't. Mm-hmm. And there's a storage building there that he keeps some of his other stuff in there. Not a ton of stuff, but he keeps his saddles in there and he keeps his boat in there. And the building burned to the ground.
Oh my gosh.
And it took out everything in the building. The boat was not in the building. It was about 10, 15 feet from the building.
So it still got damaged?
But it got so hot that it still damaged it. He doesn't know if they've totaled it yet, but it is damaged. And the saddles are gone. Oh and do you know how expensive saddles are?
Very.
And do you know how hard it is to break one in? It's like a good pair of boots.
Yeah.
I told Rick to protect his truck at all costs because God is taking away his forms of transportation. Okay. He's now lost his ability to ride his horse and his ability to fish. And hunting season just ended, and it's now fishing season, and he doesn't have a boat.
Oh my, that's so sad.
And he is losing his mind. Losing his mind.
Now, do they know how it happened?
No. The insurance company came out today, and I mean, it should pay out so he can replace everything. Yeah. But the point is that, you know, he had the whole, you know, and he doesn't like decorative shit. He doesn't like fancy shit. Like, you know, you go, for example, he broke his belt, right? So I was going to Harry's. So he broke it while I was on my way to Harry's. So he said, hey, will you buy me a belt while you're there? I broke my belt. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I go look, and they have two like belt fixtures, I guess, on the wall in the main room. There's 5 rooms to this big
it's
boot
really
store.
Big.
The main room behind the cash registers, they have two sections of belts. So I was like, yeah. So I go over there and I look at the belts, and they're all like ornate. In fact, I thought one section was women belts and the other one was men's. I looked through both pretty carefully just in case I was wrong, because then I started doubting myself. I was like, are these men's or women? What are these? They were sized as men's, which made me think they might be men's. There's a lot of ornate shit on them, colors and conches and shit that didn't need to be there. And Rick's not that guy. No, he's a simple man. And John Wayne, like I said. And so I was like, this all looks real feminine for him. He's not going for this. So I call him back. I'm like, listen, I'll buy you a belt. No problem. It's going to be $70 and you're never going to wear it again because it's going to look like a girl belt. And he was like, never mind. I'll use a rope. And then I went to the next room, the women's room, and there's the women's belts. Turns out they were all men's.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
Thank God my man didn't wear it.
To each his own. But,
Yeah. But if my man has rhinestones on his belt, he ain't my man.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. No. I struggle if you have a square toe on your boot, okay? I definitely can't handle a rhinestone on a belt. Anyways, this is where we are. So his saddle, he had 3 saddles in there. His daughter's saddle, another saddle that could interchange, and then he had his main saddle, his favorite saddle. And it was a nice, simple saddle. It was expensive and a good saddle and well made, but it didn't have all the stupid shit. It didn't have a bunch of carvings and decorative stuff. It was just a simple saddle. And so he has been looking ever since Monday when it burned to the ground for a saddle to replace it, and everything's ornate, and he's losing his mind.
He's going to have to go get it specially
If you buy
made.
a new one specially made, you're looking at a few $1,000s.
Yeah, I know. That's insane.
Yeah. So he's
do what you gotta do.
He's struggling a little mentally with the situation, and I told him that's what you get for leaving shit at your mom's house.
Oh, well, you live and you learn.
Should have brought that to your house.
Or karma spilled over on you there.
I don't know. I do feel really
careful.
bad for his mom as well because she lost quite a bit of stuff as well, but they had the chicken coop connected to the building. Thankfully, all the chickens were outside because it was the daytime, but they had one mama chick with 2 or 3 little baby chicks. So she had locked them in there for protection of the chicks away from really trying to keep the big chicks from messing with these little chicks other than the mama, because the mom gets protective. The little chicks can get out, but they won't. They won't leave their mom. But the big chickens could not get back in. Babies got out. Mama didn't.
Oh, no.
I know. So Rick gets
sad.
home and he's like, you want some chicken? He's in the back of the truck.
Barbecue chicken.
You're always bitching you don't get chicken. It's in the back of my truck. It's done.
So morbid, but so funny.
He's going to hell. No, he's not. He's a righteous man.
He's God's favorite, remember?
He is God's favorite. He's God's warrior.
He is.
Yeah.
Doing the Lord's work.
Yeah. When he cleaned up my truck, he goes, I shouldn't even admit this. He said, where's your gun? I was like, it's in my truck. And he goes, where? I said, under my seat. And he goes, which one? I was like, passenger. And why is it in the passenger? I forgot to move it back to the main seat. Why was it over there? I don't remember. It's been there forever. And I just forgot to move it back.
Oops.
I was like, I'm sorry about that. Well,
Because Kelly does the shotgun.
Yes. And so I don't remember why I put it there. But I knew it wasn't under my seat when he asked me which seat. So I had to guess another one. But then he goes, and so that was yesterday. And then today I'm upstairs and I have the garage half open because I have taken out some trash and our garage door is kind of messed up right now. And it takes 2 people to close it if you let it go to the top because he hit it with the back of his truck, his little ball thing.
Uh-oh.
So I just never completely open. And so if I need to go to take out the trash, I'll just partially open and then I'll just bend under and take it, which is what I did. And so I'm upstairs getting ready to come up here because I'm going to record because I'm going to tell you I got engaged. And so I have to look a little cute. And so I'm like upstairs and I hear the garage door open completely. And he has a remote. I don't have a remote because I park in the front. And I hear the garage door open and I'm still getting ready. And the door opens and it closes. And I hear the other door open and close. And I know it's him at the bottom of the stairs. I'm like, babe, come upstairs. Come upstairs. Babe. He doesn't answer. He starts coming up the stairs. I look down. I see it's him. I said, why are you not answering me? And he was like, what would you have done if it wasn't me? What was your plan? What would you have done? I was like, I would have run out the door behind me because there's another door. You would have run. Never occurs to me to run. I wouldn't have run. And I was like, you're stronger than me.
You're a man. You don't have to run.
I'm trying to survive. I don't need to prove shit. I got to go. I'm going to run. And he was like, why don't you just get a gun? Because, we have guns. I'm like, I don't know where you have all the guns. Mine's on the passenger seat of my truck.
What am I going to do?
What the heck am I going to do? Wrong answer. We're still working on that. I feel like you're all cut up. I feel like I've given y'all know everything about us at this point.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. So I got, Kelly, what you got? Anything else?
We're good.
I feel like this was a good love subject. I feel like I threw an engagement into Love Weekend. The only thing that could have been better about this month's podcast is if I had been able to time it as if I had a choice, where it was the episode we released on the 13th had this on it.
Yeah.
And that's what I told Rick. You really screwed this up. You'd done it a week earlier. We could have gotten this on the 13th.
You really would have thought
it's not about the podcast.
Oh, but it is.
I was like, they are interested.
But it is. Okay, so to close us out, I don't have necessarily questions, but we're going to do a little bit different. It's going to be this or that question. So it's real short and sweet, fun, just this or that. Okay, so the very first one actually is playlists or podcasts? Podcasts?
Oh, specific ones.
Okay.
Listen, I'm Gen X. This is what I do. I get on YouTube, which is outdated and no one else does it, and I scroll through till I find either a murder mystery or a 1980s country song about truckers.
Yeah. Mine of those two would definitely be playlists because I don't really listen to podcasts other than ours. But even more than that are audiobooks. That's what I'm always listening to.
Oh, yeah. That's
okay.
good.
Number 2, shoes or slippers?
Like, I'm at home.
Just what your favorite thing to wear? Shoes or slippers?
But my slippers at home.
Oh, definitely. Me too. Slippers. I would wear house shoes all day if I could get away with it. So, but I can't. Okay. Pork or beef?
I want to say beef, but I eat more pork.
I like beef more than pork.
I like beef more specific beefs, but I like more. There's more different kinds of pork I like. I'm specific about my beef.
Yeah. I only like steaks. I don't like ground meat or anything like that. No. I like a nice steak, but actually what wins for me is chicken. I eat the most chicken, but that wasn't on there. Swimming pool or beach?
Beach.
Okay, so I'm a beach, definitely, if we're hanging out, but I like to swim for longer periods of time than swimming pools because I'm not big on salt water, but I love hanging out at the beach more because I like listening to the waves.
Honestly, Nick's both those river. I'd pick river.
Okay, river.
Because you can do both. You get to swim.
Yeah, it's true.
And you get to hang out on the beach-ish.
Right.
The rock, whatever.
Right. Fruits or vegetables?
Vegetables.
Vegetables. Yeah, I love me some vegetables.
So do I.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
I know. Neither.
Crazy cat lady.
I'm going to go with neither on that one. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Me too. Salt or pepper?
Pepper.
See, I'm salt. If I had to pick one and I needed to put it on something, it's probably going to be salt. Let's see. Cash or card?
Cash.
Cash is king. Cookies or chips? This is a hard one for me.
Neither.
Neither? See, it's not hard. Chips.
It's very rare you're going to catch me eating either.
Soda or juice?
Juice.
Farm or city?
Farm.
Farm, definitely. Text or call?
Text.
Please
don't call me. Please don't call me.
Don't call me. Because it's just going to go to voicemail and you're going to have to leave me a voicemail and then I'm just going to text you.
I don't know what my current voice, you could tell me more than I could. I don't know what my current voicemail is, but for years it was my sister India saying, Zayda never makes her own voicemail, so this is me making her voicemail. Leave a message. She's not going to listen to it, but go ahead.
just talk your little heart out.
Yeah, she's right.
New phone or new clothes?
New clothes.
New clothes for sure. Black or white? Black. Driver or passenger?
Driver.
Passenger. See, that's why we go well.
Yeah, it is.
Comedy or horror?
Comedy.
Comedy for sure. Beer or wine?
Wine.
Wine for
Unless
sure.
I'm in a river, then beer.
Dine in or dine out?
Depends on the company.
It depends on what's on the menu. If it's your house, dine in.
I prefer, like, if it was me and a group of friends, I prefer dine in, like, in the cabin. But I don't want it necessarily at my house because my family's there and it takes away girl time. If that makes sense. But if it's just me and my girlfriends, I'd rather cook at the cabin or cook at my house with no one else there. Or whatever the case is. And I like it when 9 times out of 10, I prefer us to eat at home. But we do go out to eat so I don't have to cook and all that kind of stuff. But I like to cook, so it just depends on my mood.
Yeah. Rain or snow?
Snow.
See, I like rain more. Love or money?
Love.
Money.
You can always find money. You can't always find love.
Ice or fire?
Fire.
Fire. Curly or straight? This is hard.
Usually straight.
I like curly.
I like both. It depends on what's going on.
Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Sweet. Trucks or cars? Trucks. But I have a car. But I like trucks more.
I mean, who does?
Jeep. That's my answer.
There you go.
Lunch or dinner?
Dinner.
Weekends or weekdays?
Weekends. Duh.
Pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
Let's see if we have any more.
If you had to pick one kind of food, what would you pick? I'm throwing us a wrench in.
Mexican food is my pretty much go-to. I'm always going to want Mexican, but I do love Italian food too. I love pasta. I love a good Alfredo sauce. Oh my gosh.
My ex-coworker / friend, Debbie Jacobs, shout out to you. She used to tease me that I ate Mexican at least one time a day.
Really?
She was like, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you're going to have it at least once a day. And I was like, and so I didn't even think about it until she said it. And I was like, holy shit, I really do. I have Mexican food every day for one meal. I can't help it. Superior.
It really is. All right. Singing or dancing?
Dancing, because I can't sing.
Singing. Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook.
Instagram.
I like both, though, honestly. I liked old Instagram when it was pictures.
Yeah. Pants or dress? Dress, for sure. Suitcase or backpack?
Suitcase.
I have to have a suitcase. I actually have to have both.
Yeah.
I overpack all the time.
Same.
Too much sleep or too little sleep?
I have no control over it.
I always get too much. And then I feel groggy because I have too much sleep.
But I don't have a choice. I could sleep in, but my body won't. I haven't slept in after. I have woken up before the sun comes up every day for probably 5 years. I cannot sleep till the sun comes up. I will be awake before the sun comes up.
The only time I ever get up before the sun comes up is when I'm hanging out with you.
Yeah, I won't. I won't. I can drink the night before. I can stay up till 2 a.m. I will still get up before the sun comes up.
Mm-hmm. All right, boiled egg or fried egg?
Boiled.
I like fried. But I eat a lot of boiled eggs because they're better for you. But I like fried eggs. Ice cream or cake?
Ice cream.
Ice cream cake to the ice cream cake.
Pie.
I like both. Okay. Movie date or dinner date?
Dinner.
Flats or heels?
Heels.
Heels all day, baby. Basketball or football?
Basketball.
Basketball. To give or to receive?
To give.
To give. All right. Introvert or extrovert? Both. It depends.
I'm straight up extrovert. I can't shut the fuck up. I have met someone recently that talks more than me, like a lot more than me, and it's shocking. And I think to myself now constantly, am I like this?
Is this me?
Am I doing this to people?
Am I the asshole?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
And I don't feel negative about them. They can't help it. I just realized I might be doing the same thing. Sorry, y'all.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Coffee. Old or new? Old.
Old.
Wings or ribs?
Rick's ribs.
Ribs. I like wings, though. I like wings better than ribs. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Sunset. I never see the sunrise.
True story. I've seen it many. We're friends. I see it every day.
With or without makeup? With.
Depends on my mood.
I'm kind of borderline. Like, I can go without makeup, but I at least want mascara on. Like,
you know what? If I had to pick, that's a good question. If I had to pick one
thing to put on,
mascara.
It would be mascara, for sure. For sure. All right. River or lake?
River.
Let's see. Gym or spa?
Oh, spa.
That was a stupid one. I'm just kidding. Tattoos or piercings?
Tattoos.
Tattoos. I like both, but I get more tattoos than piercings. So, gold or diamond?
Gold or diamond?
Like gold or diamonds?
Diamonds?
Diamonds.
I thought you were like going to be gold or silver, but you were like diamond.
That's
diamonds.
what it says. I would go for gold. I just like gold. I wear a lot of gold.
Rick and I have talked about this whole proposal situation before in the ring and such, and I have told him that whatever ring he ever picks needed to match my grandmother's ring because that'd be my wedding band. And he was like, all right, well, what kind of style, whatever. I was like, I don't know. Anyways, I was like, I want to look like an oil baroness. I don't need the biggest diamond. I just need it to look like an oil baroness. It doesn't have to be the biggest diamond, but I need to look at my finger and be like, I look like an oil baroness. I don't know why. That's the look I want to go for. Like right now, this whole look that's like the people are trying to emulate is the
mob wife.
Mob wife.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm looking for oil baroness. Mm-hmm. And so we actually went and looked at rings, obviously, beforehand and stuff like that. And I turned down bigger diamonds because my grandmother's ring has got quite a few diamonds and it's pretty big. And it would push the diamond over. This is first world problems. When the diamond was too big, it'd push it over and be sideways. You couldn't make it like straight up. And it looked weird. And I literally had to make a decision. Do I want a smaller diamond? And it was really hard. This is a hard. It's like it doesn't look as good.
Definitely.
But it's bigger. But no, I didn't. I went with it's not small, but it is smaller than what I could have gotten because it looked better with my grandmother's ring.
Sometimes you got to make sacrifices.
Yeah, so diamonds. I might be partial right now.
All right, that's all I got for today.
You did good. That was a good one.
It was fun. I liked it.
Thanks everybody for catching up and watching. I hope we caught this recorded really good. Because I knew it was going to shock you. I knew it was going to shock you.
That's going to be fun.
We got here. I was like, Kelly, we need to record this one. We need some reels.
Right.
I just wanted to get her face.
All right. So if you want to email the podcast, you can email us at twosidesinthetruthpodcast@outlook.com. It's been a while since I got an email, so just throwing that out again.
Or you can find us on Facebook at Two Sides in the Truth. Or you can find me at Zeta Owens on Facebook. Or you can find us on Instagram.
The Instagram is Two Sides in the Truth. I'm on Instagram as Kelly Lady Pearl.
And I'm Z Mamacita.
So reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you guys. We love all your feedback.
So for the next week, we're going to have to be quiet until this gets announced. So
I'm going to try. I'll do it. I'll be all right.
You'll be all right. You're all right.
Hopefully.
But people are catching on.
I want to tell everybody.
It's top secret.
Okay, shh.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. Maybe come back next week and bring a friend.
Yeah. And remember, there's always 3 sides to every story.
2 sides and the truth.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.